Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. You are blessed and protected and prosperous and overall happy and healthy as well. I want to come here briefly to talk about some signs that I have experienced during my spiritual evolution, elevation, some things that you might start to experience as well. Um, and these are just not all of them, but some of them that I can would like to briefly talk about. So one thing that I have noticed as I start to elevate, and let me rewind and say that spiritual evolution, spiritual elevation, um, enlightenment, the journey to enlightenment, that is a lifelong process. This is a lifelong journey. It's not like a 6 month, I go through a spiritual awakening for 6 months and then it's like that's it and I'm at the place of enlightenment. You're going to gain more knowledge and more wisdom to be able to navigate through life. Your spiritual gifts might elevate. You might gain clarity with things, but you are going to continue to evolve and elevate and just continue to gain enlightenment. So I was ignorant during my early process because I thought like, oh, this is gonna be a 3 month thing, and then that's it. I can say I've been consciously and intentionally on this spiritual journey since 2018. And I want to say spiritual journey, on the journey of spiritual evolution and enlightenment, and just getting in alignment. So it's been since 2018 that things had really started to like not make sense, and I started to crave more, and things really started slowly started to shift is what I would say. So the first sign, not the first sign, but one of the things that stuck out to me and continues to stick out to me now is food sensitivity. I am very sensitive now to dairy. I have talked to people during their, women that I know who are on a spiritual journey as well. They have said that the things that they used to eat, they can no longer eat. They have food sensitivities to things that they once enjoyed. For me, dairy has been a thing. I was not a big ice cream person. I'm a plain Jane. Give me vanilla ice cream and I'll be satisfied. But now I realize that I cannot have any type of dairy. Macaroni and cheese, it's a done. My stomach is very sensitive to things. Another thing is meat. I once really enjoyed meat. I don't eat meat as much, as often as I used to. And then also too, I realized that meat has started to make me feel lethargic. And I am associating it with maybe the way that the animal was killed, you know, or maybe the things that the animal ate. So now I don't eat as much meat as possible. As I used to. I try to stay away as much as possible. I might do some chicken, but pork, I really had cut that down. And red meat, I rarely do that. And for real, if I'm going to be real, my diet has changed so much that I prefer to eat a lot of like raw fruits and veggies. Like that is my thing. Give me a nice salad, with some good veggies in there. Give me some, fruits and stuff. I am actually okay. But that's just me. And so, even alcohol, I used to like to drink. Drinking was my thing. Give me some rum. But now my body just cannot digest it. And I've never been like, like a heavy drinker, like alcoholic type of drinker, but I did enjoy a few drinks, like maybe like at least 4 times out of the week, during my younger days. And now give me a half a glass of wine and I'm calling it, a day. So, and so that those are like some food sensitivities that I have experienced that I was once able to enjoy, dairy, and I was once able to enjoy some nice meat, give me the precious Lamb of God born into sin that I may live again, but now it's like, ooh, I have cut that out a lot because I realized that meat makes me feel lethargic. Dairy is just gonna just mess me up all the way around. But I feel more energized when I eat more of a plant-based diet. I'm not vegetarian. I still like, you're gonna add me a little bit of chicken in my salad. I still like fried chicken. If you do it right, I might eat a little pork loin, a little pork shoulder or something, but definitely not as much as I used to, and definitely in moderation. And we're talking about maybe like once or twice a year for at least the pork, and that's like barbecue time because I like a nice little smoke, pork loin, pork shoulder. Okay, another thing is we're talking about sensitivity. You will start to feel very sensitive to certain things, such as music that you once enjoyed. If it's very like violence based, you might be a little bit more sensitive to it. You Television shows that you might once enjoyed, you might be like visually is too much. Even social media, when I started, on, my seriously, I would say, once I really found what it was, once I got clarity on what it was I was supposed to do, and really started taking my spiritual life, my spirituality serious, and my role as a priestess serious. There's just certain things that I can't watch. There's just certain things that I can't listen to that I'm just like, oh, it's a little too violent. And I could be a little violent, but and even like my social media, like I had to wipe some things clean because it was just lowering my vibration. You start to feel energy in a lot of things as you start to elevate and get in alignment, even from the things that people say and how they say it. You start to feel sensitive to it. So so there were certain shows that I had to cut out, no disrespect, like that VH1 stuff. I used to love me a nice Black Basketball Wife. I used to love me a nice Love and Hip Hop. Hopefully they fighting on this episode. I used to love to, see a girl get dragged, okay? But I realized as I started to elevate, it was like so low vibrational, and I couldn't, and it made me want to go out and slap somebody, and it made my temperament like anything that was going to set me off. My vibration was low, and I'd be ready to go out there and fight. Like, girl, you look at me wrong. What's going on? So, and even movies, like these things that they call horror porn. I feel like that the world is just so corrupt that people just do crazy stuff anyway. So I just feel like there is someone out there that is like, that's trying to copy Saw and all these other things. What is it called? What's that Jigsaw thing? See, I would know it. Saw. Yeah, Saw. And what's the other one? Hostel. That's what I'm talking about. Somewhere out there imitating Hostel. Someone out there imitating Saw. And, it's just too realistic to me. And it's just too gory. It's like, I've never been into horror porn, but I can't watch it. I might be able to sit through it. But you just become more sensitive to certain things, and you realize that there's vibration in everything, even a beat to a song is like vibration, and so I had to swipe my social media clean, just certain things. I don't want to be swiping and seeing bitches shaking their ass, I don't want to be swiping and seeing, bitches fighting in the streets. If you post that, you gotta go because it's just too low vibe. I'm not telling you what to post, But I'm just saying that I'm not going to be a part of it, and I don't want to see that shit on my timeline. So, you know. Okay. Another sign that I experienced, let's talk about, let's just say, friends and family will start to drift apart. Family is a whole nother topic. I ain't got the time of day. I was trying to make this a quick video. But let's talk about something that I've experienced, which was friends started to drift apart. I started to notice that there was an improper exchange of energy. I used to be, the party. Let me go to a party. We're going to have fun. Once I get in, the party's going to stop. The party's going to start jumping. But then as I started, especially, at 2018, and I started to realize that there was just a proper exchange of energy with the people that I considered friends and even associates. And let me say, my friends, my best friends, I'm talking about my best friends, we have been best friends at that point, 2018, like 10 years, like we still, a few of them, it's like a few that we drifted apart or whatever, but that was in a part of the destiny. But people that I would like party with, people that I would like co-workers, colleagues and stuff, that I consider like friends, because we've worked together for years and I've known each other, we've known each other. I started to realize that, I would go to a party and the vibe would just be off, and nothing may have happened. It was just that the vibe was just off for me. And I remember starting asking like, who going? And then from who going is just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna come. Thanks for the invite, but I'm not coming. And then it slowly turned into me not being invited at all. And I'm like, hey, don't tease me with a good time, because I've been stopped going because the vibe was just off. And then, as I later on in life, I realized that the vibe was off because these bitches was faking phony anyway. And also too, just the things that they were doing, it wasn't cool anymore, for me. And you just start to realize, there was just an improper exchange of energy. There were some friends that I just made a conscious decision. I was just like, I'm just going to stop texting them. I'm going to stop texting them, stop inviting them on trips, stop inviting them out to happy hour, stop inviting them to my birthday, and let me just see if they ever reach out to me. I know about 5 people from 2018, and 2023, I have not texted them, and these people have not reached out to me, okay? And so that just shows that I was always the one pushing energy and things like that. So, the people that I wanted to party, I always party with, the energy was off, and I was just like, nah. People that I consider that we were friends and things, it was just like we started to drift off, and the energy wasn't reciprocal. So I was like, let me stop texting. And I promise you, I have not heard from them. And these are people that I went on trips with, out of the country with, These are people that I've been friends with that I would have said like 5+ years, that we would have considered each other friends because I felt like we invested so much time, but come to find out I was pushing all the energy. So as you start to elevate, people are going to start dropping off. And so I realized, and I've always been a person that is able to detach. So I don't even think y'all should take my advice with this one. But I've always been able to be like, okay, cool. We not rocking like that, then we just not rocking like that. And so I've never had a problem with having to drop people or people just falling off, because I've always felt like God wanted that anyway, and I've always felt like, if you're doing too much or you're not doing enough, and I feel like, I've been trying for years, you got to go anyway. My friends know I'd be the first one to be like, fuck you, I ain't fuck with you no more. but if you are really dear in my heart, and if it is by design, then Olodumare is going to bring us back together anyway. So another thing I would say, so when people start to, fall off, also just have discernment, because some people falling off is for your better good. Some people, there might be a lesson. Some people are just there for a season, for the seasons of party, for the seasons of out here doing what you want to do because you're single and mingle and things like that. But, if they're meant to come back, then they will come back, and then I would cross that bridge when I get there. And that's just me personally. I'm just saying what helps for me. I'm very unconventional with a lot of things. So, just take this with a grain of salt. Okay. So certain activities that used to interest you no longer do. Or does no longer entertains you. So going back to, people that you used to hang out with, it could kind of coincide with your friendships, with the things that you used to watch, the things that you used to, intake the music and things like that. For me, I used to love to party. Like I said before, I used to love to party. But then I realized the energy was just kind of too heavy for me, and I started becoming very sensitive to energy. As you start to elevate and evolve, spiritually in alignments, for some people, you become very sensitive to energies. I guess that's what they call empaths, but you can just pick up on energy. And I remember just feeling drained all the time, and didn't know why. Because Bonquisha at the bar up there arguing with her baby daddy, and her friends plotting to roll up on the baby daddy and his new girl, and you just gotta you listening to that and you like, it's too much, right? So certain things such, so I don't really go out to bars anymore. Now don't get me wrong, I will go. I like a nice happy hour, but that is just not my scene anymore, certain things, the summer of 2018, I was popping around the district. Okay. I was popping around DC. That was just like, catch me, catch me at a happy hour, catch me at, at a brunch. I love a brunch. But now I like to host them, because now I get to pick and choose what energy I can be around, what energy I want around me. And I could just throw it at my house, okay? And you can't come to my house if I don't rock with you like that, okay? Positive vibes only. But, so, certain things that you used to do, if you're hanging out on the block every time, spending your, Saturdays, laying up with your boo and stuff, the weekend laying up with your boo, having hot sex all the time, and just doing hood rat stuff with your friends. Sometimes, you don't want to do hood rat stuff with your friends anymore. And sometimes your hood rat friends ain't going to be your friends anymore. So, that was something for me. I was always down to let's go do a jazz in the garden. Let's go do, it's going to be men's there. Let's go out, and I just started to shift away from that, because it was just the energy was just too much. I was always tired. There was always some BS with it, So also you start to feel called to do something bigger in your life. And it doesn't even mean that you have to be famous or popular. It just means you could be like, okay, you know what? I'm struggling with diabetes, and it's ravaging my life, and I want to come up with a patent or something to help people with diabetes, because it's something that I've been experiencing, and I know this can't be life. It got to get better, and I'm working on making it better, and this is something I want to push my energy into it. And then you might be able to help diabetics. I don't know how true that is, I'm not a medical professional, but that was just an example I used. Or you could be, I'm a teacher. I don't like how the school systems work, because I feel like they are now helping the little brown and black kids. The black boys are always being labeled. You know what? I don't really want to work for the city. How about I want to open up my own school? So you start to feel, called to do something bigger. You might start to feel that your life is mundane. I remember for me, I'm going back to 2018. I remember just waking up one day like, what the fuck? This can't be it. Like, this is it. And I remember I wasn't making as much money as I was making now. Thank you, Olodumare, for the evolution, the elevation, financial elevation, the blessings. And I just remember that it was just, I didn't know what I was doing in life. Okay. I just knew that there were certain things that I wanted to do. I just knew that I just got out of a relationship that was not serving me. And I knew that the job that I was doing was not serving me either. And I was waking up every day going to war. And I work for the federal government. And I'm just going to say this. Some of the most lazy people work in the federal government. And I don't know how this even works. Okay. But, I have seen people do less work. I've seen somebody come in at 11 o'clock, go get breakfast, right? Then at 12:30, tell myself I'm going to lunch. Go to lunch to maybe 2 o'clock, then leave at 4. I ain't gonna hate nobody, And federal government employees, they got good benefits, and they pay good. Okay, so. And I just felt like this was not the life for me. It was not my calling. I knew that, I just left the field of social work and mental health. And I just knew that it was not for me. I knew that I wanted to be able to help in a capacity, but I knew that social work was too draining for me. Okay. And I felt that I always kept hitting brick walls. And I felt like a lot of the agencies were doing a disservice to the clients. And I still feel that way. And so it is hard to it's hard to try to change something when people are in a job just for the money and they really don't give a fuck. That's because they got to pay off student loans or whatever. Let me not go on a tangent with that. But I say that to say that I just knew that I wanted to do something that involved working with people, but I just didn't know what it was. And I just went to social work school because my supervisor was like, you're really good with the clients. I think you'll be a wonderful social worker. And then, I would get readings and people were like, you're a healer. And I was like, bam, okay. Social work it is. And then when I got into that social work school, I said, first of all, I know you motherfucking lying. It's not, social work is really not for people that do not have the client's best interests at heart. And it's very disheartening to see a lot of bullshit that goes on. So, and then I know I didn't want to go back into mental health because I was just getting tired of getting cursed out every day. I was getting tired of, motherfuckers threatening to fight me. I was tired of, dealing with people with the bed bugs. It's just a whole lot to go with it. And I knew that I wanted to do something bigger. I knew that this was not life. I left mental health, social work. I went to go work in the federal government and I was still not happy. And I was making more money than what I was making in social work, right? And you would think that they would pay social workers a little bit more. But, you get paid, $90,000 to come at 11 o'clock, come to work at 11 o'clock, go to breakfast to 11:30, whatever, go to lunchtime, go to lunch at 12:30, come back at 2, stay, and then leave at 4, okay? But then you got people really, hustling and bustling in the city, trying to provide services, trying to do, community organizing and things like that, and y'all want to pay them $45,000, okay? $50,000, and with master's degrees, Like, who's paying off student loans? But I digress because I'm kind of going on a tangent. But y'all know all these student loan people ain't getting their money, right? Okay. As long as y'all know. So I felt called to do, I wanted to do something. So I remember waking up and I'm like, this can't be motherfucking life. Like, and so I would say I was making more money than what I was making before. I was traveling. I was going to beautiful places. I was doing solo travel. I was going to Toronto. I was going to Colombia. I was going to like different places and really enjoying my life. But I just felt like I was doing the same mundane things every day. I was waking up, trying to prep myself for the work day because I knew it was foolishness and fuckery. Got to get to the workplace and got to pray the whole time that you don't beat a bitch ass, because these girls in the federal government, they try you, okay? And all they're going to do is move you to another department, okay? You cause chaos and confusion, all they're going to do is move you to another directorate. But let me not give too much of their business out. And so I'm praying all day because I hated my job. I didn't feel fulfilled. And not only do I hate my job, but now I got to come in here and y'all girls really trying me. Like, these girls used to try me on this job, but this is for another time, another day. Try me so much that one girl tried to fight me in the elevator. And I was like, ugh, whew. It was the Holy Spirit that had to hold me back. And it really was the Holy Spirit that wanted to hold me back, that had to hold me back, because I was going to two-piece that bitch, okay? In the name of the federal government. But and then like, or in certain things, like they wouldn't relieve me for my lunch break. You know, we had a set time and girl wouldn't come. My lunch break would be, and I would decide to go after everybody, right? After lunchtime to try to accommodate you, right? And then, you know, we have a set time for 1 o'clock. Girl, you don't come to relieve me until 3:30. Tell me you was outside talking. It was just the boldness of it, and I just knew. I'm just glad that I got through that trying time, through that trial and tribulations, because they were trying me. They were trying me. And I'm so glad that I left on my own accord. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Okay, so I just knew I wanted to do something bigger. And so I remember me just like pleading with God to show me something, pleading like, what is it I'm supposed to do? What is it I'm supposed to do? What is it I'm supposed to do? And, you know, I found out a few years later. It took me a minute because I just had to get in a position where I was able to, you know, really commit to my practice of, you know, ATR. So, and so now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And so when you pray for something, you may not get it right then and there. It might be a couple of years, but I had to get in alignment with a teacher that the teacher for me, the right one for me, you know. I had to get in alignment with, you know, things that were going on in my life. There was just a lot of chaos and confusion. So it, you know, if they would have told me, if Olodumare and the ancestors would have, you know, revealed to me in 2018 that, oh girl, you should be a priestess, and you know this, and I'm like, girl, I didn't even know what a priestess was in 2018. Okay, I just knew about angel numbers, Archangel Michael's, and I just happened to run across Black Spectrum Network like at the end of 2018. No, this was like, I ran into Black Spectrum Network like 2019. So there wasn't even no Black Spectrum Network for me, and I didn't even know anything about ancestors. Okay, so I was like, you know, just trying to figure out, and I know God was like, just be patient, girl, just be patient, just be patient. Okay, and so here I am now. Okay, so I knew I wanted to do something bigger, but I knew it wasn't social work. I knew it wasn't mental health. I knew it was not working in the federal government. And I know it's not the 9 to 5 that I have right now, but I'm also very thankful that I have a job that I'm able to, that can fund my lifestyle for now. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm very thankful, and I don't take that for granted. And I know the steps that I need to take to, you know, get to where I am supposed to be in my role as a priestess. So it took a minute, but now I know, what it is that I'm supposed to do. And the last thing is, for me, I really started to feel, I went through a period of isolation. I went through a period of like lone wolfing it, as they might say. And mostly was just because, there was just a lot of changes going on. The friends that I was hanging out with very often, I started to separate from my best friends, who are best friends. They're like out of state. They lived out of state. The ones that are in state, they booed up and stuff. Things like that. So I really started to, it was a period of feeling alone. It was a period of feeling like just really pleading with Olodumare, really like, just talking to my spiritual team, the angels, and trying to figure out what it was I was supposed to do. Figuring out what my next steps were. Reevaluating what I thought friendships were. And when I say like during this time, they were like a major friendship that I ended. Okay. And that's another thing too. Friends don't break up with me. I break up with the friends. Okay. Because I'm a bomb friend. Okay. I might be a little aggressive and a little rough around the edges, but one thing you can say about me, I am very loyal. I am a great friend, and I am I am loyal, I am loving, I am compassionate, I am non-judgmental, okay? And what's mine is yours, and what's yours, no, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. And so when I start to feel like people are not reciprocating that, you gotta go. So, I really didn't have friends. I was really like cleaning house and stuff. And so, like I said, I didn't take it a hard way. And a lot of these people I've never had arguments with. It's just some of them is like I just stopped reaching out to, and they just never, reciprocated back to me, because it was always like that. So I also realized that the foundation that I had built, the friendship foundation that I had built was not solid. And one thing I realized is that it is okay for you to change the way that people treat you, right? So if you are used to, your friends are used to it, you're always reaching out, they don't, they're very introvert, they don't, reach out, or, or they don't invite you to places, but you've been okay with it. And then you wake up one day and be like, damn, this is kind of one-sided shit. And then you start to realize like, okay, girl, I do call you and you don't never call me. It takes you months to call me back. But girl, I see you on Instagram. Oh, and girl, also too, I thought, we were going on a trip together, but I see you with trips with your other friends, or I always invite you. You always go on trips with me, but every time I see you somewhere else. Or, hey girl, you always calling when you want something. That's another person. I hate a person that when they call you, be like, damn, they want something. Okay. And my friends know I call y'all just for shits and giggles, because I'm just really genuinely want to know what's going on in your life. So as these are some things, because I could go on a tangent. So these are some things that I have experienced on my journey to get in alignment in my journey on this continuous life journey of enlightenment. Because like I said, enlightenment is not a one-stop shop. Enlightenment is not what you think it will look like. Sometimes spirit is like, oh, you think it's this? I'm gonna show you this. This is what it really is. And then spiritual evolution is it's a change, but it's a uncomfortable but necessary change. And so I would just encourage people that are going through, early stages of evolution and spiritual elevation, and you might just be, things that you used to align with don't no longer align with you, such as like maybe religious beliefs. For me, it was just like Christianity, but none of my friends really went to church like that anyway, okay? So that really didn't, I did have a couple of friends. I was like, well, girl, what's the crystal? What is that? Because the Bible said, I'm like, listen here, what the Bible say about Jezebels. Don't pick and choose what you want to throw at me, okay? Because that joint go boomerang, okay? How you a hoe trying to tell me what the Bible say about crystals and rocks and stuff? They were throwing stones. They were throwing lots. Casting lots, but I digress. And so, these were some things that I've experienced. These are some things that I am continuously experiencing, especially with friends and family. But I can say that the friends that are currently in my life, they are great. They have been with me through this transformation, even through the times where they just probably thought I was crazy. And even, as my my steps as a priestess, they let me, they come to me with certain things and they trust me, and I, appreciate that. My family does as well. Some of the family members are, not as welcoming, but honestly, they can stand to do some ancestral veneration themselves. But that's for another day. And so so hopefully these helped you. If you've experienced some other things as well, you can write them down in the comments and stuff. And thank you for watching this video. Also, if you would like to learn more about just elevating spiritually, about getting in alignment with your destiny, about tapping into your ancestor veneration, about tapping into your Ori, your higher self, about hoodoo, Orisha, Ifa, if that is your path, then you can visit learnorishahoodoo.com, and that is the website for my spiritual godmother, the Reverend Priestess Oshun Funke Iyanifa. We are doing some wonderful things over at the Orisha Hoodoo. We are doing beautiful things about transforming lives, ancestral veneration, helping young women of color get in alignment with their destiny, tapping into their higher power. Priestess Oshun Funke, the Reverend Priestess Oshun Funke Iyanifa is the reason why I'm sitting here right now. So if you would love to learn more about what we're doing, you can join our Discord. You can go to learnorishahoodoo.com, and we'll have our Discord in there. We have mentorship in there, different levels in there, and we have just other things. We have also retreats and things we are really doing to really help our immediate community, help be a divine vessel for ourselves as women, as people of color, helping to still trying to remember. We are people that are trying to remember while we are here on this earthly plane. We are just helping people remember. We are helping people step into their power. We are helping people heal. We are helping people to just be successful and fulfilled, and whatever that is that looks like for them. Each individual path is different. There's every path is not the same. I might be an ancestral priestess, but someone might be a priestess might be a doula, for Black women, and incorporate spirituality into their role as a doula. Some might be death priestesses that help people transition over, that help people at the end of stages of life, and help the family grieve, and help the family be able to safely help their loved one transition to the realm of the ancestors. You might be a priestess of herbs. You love herbs and you just want to use herbs to help your family, friends, and community. So you start a little herb garden and you sell these things, your priestessing is different, is different. And priestessing might also just be a social worker. That is a form of healing. That is a form of priestessing. So, don't worry about making it look and it fit like someone that you might know. Every path is different. So if you want to learn more how to step into your power, figure out your destiny, get in alignment with your destiny, spiritual elevation, evolution, and just learning how to be a beautiful Black being that you are, go to learnorishahoodoo.com. And I am Priestess Omoshule. Thank you for watching my video. Pray with me. Don't play with me. Bye.